today's video I'm going to show you how I cut for dimensional lumber, or in this case this is for a timber frame. This first diagram shows exactly how I'm going to cut in the video. So I'll start by cutting as much of the bark off as possible to reduce the wane on the dimensional boards. So for this log I need 6x6 timbers. Ideally you'd want to box the heart. The heart's the pith, that's the middle part. But in this case I'm just going for as many boards as I can. So in the third image you can see the box right around the middle of the log. That's 12 1/8 by 12 1/8. That gives me two 6x6 timbers with an 1/8 inch extra for the diameter of the blade. And then you'll see a bunch of rectangles around that. Those are 2 inches thick for 2x4s. So I'll start by ripping 2-inch boards off either side to get down to that 12 1/8 middle box. And I'll do that on all 4 sides. Then I'll have a bunch of 2-inch slabs, and then I'll have a big 12 1/8 box. And then I'll go back, I'll just split the 12 1/8 box down the middle on both ways, and that'll give me 4 6x6s. Then I'll put the 2-inch boards back on and rip them down to 4 inches and 6 inches to get 2x4s and 2x6s. And then in the last image you'll see the end result with 4 6x6s in the middle, 8 2x4s on the left and right side, and then 4 2x6s on the top and bottom. As you can see, I start out by measuring the pith to make sure it's centered on both ends. I do this every time I cut logs just to make sure I have minimal waste. Next up I start by squaring up all 4 sides of the log. So as long as you measure the pith on 2 sides, it should be square on the other 2. I'm measuring the height here to make sure I'm taking off enough material. Now here come the 2-inch boards. I start by taking 2 inches off each side just to get rid of the wanes, also known as the bark. So I do 2 cuts on this side because I know the bottom side's already square, so I'm just trying to get down to that 12 1/8. And then on the last side I'll bring it down to 12 1/8 on this side as well. This is a 12 1/8 box. I cut right through the middle at 6 inches. That makes 2 6x6s with an 1/8 inch taken away for the size of the blade. And there's all my 6x6s. So now I'm going to throw back on all the 2-inch boards. So the first cut was pretty much just to take off as much bark as possible before I throw on all the other logs, and now I'll just rip one more side. So then I flipped them over to take off the bark on that side, and now I'm going to start ripping 4-inch slabs. I don't do 2x6s in this video just because I need more 2x4s right now, but if you wanted to leave some off you could do 2x6s as well. And now I'm just taking everything off the mill. And that's how I cut dimensional lumber. Thanks for watching.